Hi everyone. So today we're going to take a look at the eights in the minor arcana. It's interesting with the eights because depending on the deck that you use in the majors, it's going to either be strength or justice. And you'll see those elements play out in the minors where you'll see strength and force, and you'll also see balance. So all that is here. So let's start with the swords. You have the Rider-Waite-Smith here. Now of course the swords are the air element and really often associated with how we think and communicate. So this woman is, she's bound, and we have the swords around her. Sky is gray, and she's blindfolded and she's looking down. She just seems so vulnerable, and obviously she feels trapped. So really trapped within her own thoughts. When we look at the Tarot of Dreams by Ciro Marchetti, we see that we have Jupiter in Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury and really has a lot of the brain is always going. So it's showing here, we have a woman in a bubble. The bubble's being pierced by these swords. And she's afraid, and you get the feeling of anxiety, and she doesn't know where to turn. It's nighttime. And, you just can understand that it's her own overactive mind, that's causing these problems. So let's take a look at the Anarchy. It's really a wonderful depiction here. We see a woman who's very beautifully dressed. She's holding her sword. Nice blue sky here. And she's looking in a mirror. And when you take a look, the train of her dress has bound her own image in the mirror, and including her sword. And she is also blindfolded, and the sky is very gray. So this is her perception at the moment of herself. Now, if she moves away from the mirror and sees what's really going on, the nice blue sky and the idyllic setting, maybe she can change. Once she changes her view, then she can change the situation. In the Ludi Lescott, it's very similar. She's bound. She's undressed here. So it's almost as if she's bound by her own feelings of humility and shame. Now, a little different in the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. So here we're prepared for the darkness. With the idea that sometimes things are not always as bad as they seem, but sometimes they are, and to be prepared. And it's like she's a warrior ready to take on the night. In the Bohemian Gothic, this is kind of playful. She's afraid of the mice that are near her. So it really shows that it's her own fear that is binding her. I mean, she can easily walk away. They're just little mice. So it's, really clever. It gives the idea very well. So in the Deviant Moon, of course, we have a moon in the card. And you see that the moon is, it's like affecting her thoughts, and distorting her perspective and causing a lot of fear here. Illusion. The Fountain Tarot. It's very simple, but a very striking image. Very upsetting. Okay. They did a nice job here in the Wild Unknown. So, I like the idea of the cocoon. It gives a positive take on it, showing that, at some point the cocoon is going to, a butterfly will be fully formed and be able to fly away and out of the situation. Now, okay, this is the Alchemical Tarot, and it's kind of similar. The creature in the newer version has wings, the idea that he can also fly away. Okay, so in the Vision Quest, we have a bird here, and it says interference. Same in the Thoth, it says interference. Okay, so let's move on to the wands. And see what we have here. Okay, so many decks show this, just the wands flying through the air. And, you know, if you get that, you're going to think, you know, what does that mean, right? So let's take a look at the astrological. And it says Mercury in Sagittarius. Well, you know, Mercury is the messenger. Mercury is very quick. And Sagittarius, you know, can be very hopeful and looking up and has almost like a spiritual quality to it. So when we look at the card here, you'll see all those aspects being shown here. You see the birds, you know, flying upward, like, you know, Mercury bringing the message. They're in the background, you'll see the sun rising. And these wands are pointing upward, just like the arrow in Sagittarius. So it's bringing a positive force. A lot of, you know, 8 pieces of fire, very forceful, positive energy. And a K. So we have the 8 wands are actually forming a fence. She's bending over here at the fence to receive a letter, you know, from Mercury, the messenger. Okay, now, Ludi Lescott. So here she is ascending these stairs. The wands have created steps here. And she's, you know, she's very quickly running up. You get the feeling that she's breathless and kind of excited. And she's running towards this doorway here, maybe to meet a lover or a friend. And you see the, you know, I think it's like the sun that is coming up. You know, that's what it looks like to me. So she's, you know, reaching up towards something very positive. Okay, so let's take a look at the Fountain Tarot, because now here we get to see the idea of aim and focus, really meeting a goal. And also in the hidden realm, same idea with the focus and reaching a goal, because she has a bow and arrow. You could just sense her ability to, you know, that aim that she's got and the quickness with which that arrow will take off. Now let's see, a little different in the Deviant Moon. So she has a scythe, and you can figure that she's going to just chop these down, these wands, very quickly with that scythe. So it's a quick movement. And here we do have a bird bringing her a letter. So still keeping, you know, with that mercurial message. Okay, very similar actually in the alchemical. He's chopping down the wands, maybe all of them, or maybe just the ones that he doesn't need anymore. They can be put to use elsewhere. In the Wild Unknown, it has that idea of focus and force, you know, reaching that goal right in the center of the wands. The lightning comes down to strike. Okay, so let's look at the Vision Quest. And it says insight, which brings in that, you know, I could see bringing that idea of Mercury with Sagittarius, that sort of very hopeful, spiritual information coming through. And it almost looks like a burning sun there. And in Thoth it says swiftness. Got the rainbow there as well. Okay, let's look at the Pentacles. It's a real hard-working guy here. And it looks like he's been working at this for hours, making these plates. So when we look at the astrological here, we have Sun in, it's in Virgo. So that shows patience and diligence, really being able to work hard and kind of really, you know, understand, take your time and get into the details like Virgo can do sometime. So he's got his tools here, and he's very absorbed in his work. And you'll see he also has manuals that he refers to. So he's still in the process of study with his work. He really hasn't completely mastered the skill yet. He still has to refer to books, and very kind of clever here that there's a picture here of a tarot deck, the Gilded Tarot, which is one of Ciro Marchetti's other decks. So, he's referring to that too. So not only is this man referring to manuals, but, also some divination tools as well. Okay, so let's look at the Anna K. We have a young person, an apprentice. Looks like they're making these bowls here. And, this person here, this guy here is older, and he's considering the work of the young one. Perhaps giving suggestions and helping. So again, really haven't achieved mastery yet. I like what they did here in the Ludi Lescott. Has a gentleness to it. She is doing her handwork there, and she's very absorbed in her work. I think she's enjoying her work, and she's not being bothered by anything or anyone in the background. And it's also very creative. I also like what they did here in the Bohemian Gothic. So you have a girl here, you see up front, she's having a nice time with this doll. It looks like she just bought the doll, and the doll shop is in the background, and here's the doll maker, and he's looking on, and I think he seems very content and happy that the young girl loves the doll so much. He gets to see his work being used and enjoyed. And Deviant Moon is very similar, just working hard. It's very colorful. Working alone and very absorbed in that work. So let's take a look at the Fountain Tarot. And it looks like he's creating a cube, a very strong structure. When you think of the number 8, you can think of the 4s built upon each other, creating this very, strength. And I'm trying to show some that are a little different. So here's from the Wild Unknown, and we have a spider very diligently creating their web. So it shows discipline and also the strength of the web. So when we get to Vision Quest, it says inner order. So things are in balance, very ordered and disciplined, and with the thought that says prudence. Again, everything lined up very nicely. So I guess we're already to the cups. So here is the Rider-Waite. And now, of course, this is the water element, and it's going to carry an emotional sense to it. You'll see the water here in the background. The cups are lined up. It's nighttime. It could be an eclipse there. And he's walking away from whatever this situation is, this emotional situation. And he seems to be walking upward. There are hills here. So he's going away alone, but it does give the idea that he's ascending and hopefully going to a better situation. Similar here in the Tarot of Dreams, and we have Saturn in Uranus. Well, Saturn likes a lot of structure, and Uranus likes things to be very different and something unexpected. So that says that this journey probably wasn't planned, but might have been a last-minute decision, like, I just want to change. I want to move on now. So he is ascending here. You see him going upward. The cups he's leaving behind are down here. Sense of duality here, probably with those opposing type of planetary energies. And then we have a full moon, so he's allowing himself to be guided by his emotions and by his intuition. Let's see what Anna K did. Okay, this is a little dark, so I hope you can see it. So this guy here is walking away from You know, maybe this was his home at one time. It could be that he's leaving his parents, but it seems darker than that. So, you know, I would think that maybe there's something that happened with this couple. There's a couple here embracing. There's cups all around. So maybe there was something happened that he felt hurt and, you know, no longer wants to deal with that painful situation and is moving on. We see something similar here in the deviant moon. Look at her hands. She's just giving that idea that, I've had enough. And we can see the cups behind her here. And, you know, even this cup here, it has a faded blue ribbon. So maybe at one time it was something that was very meaningful. And now laying that to rest. You know, there's a tombstone here. So something's changed. You know, things that were once of great importance now are not so much. In the Ludi Lescott, so she is, rather than leaving her home, she's leaving where she has been recently and entering her home. You know, maybe reconnecting with her lover and going back home and ascending these steps, maybe to something better. It has a very nice emotional quality to this card. And kind of hopeful. Okay, in the hidden realm, I mean, it looks very simple that he's moving on, but you'll see here on this is a big cup here, you see the moon phases here. So it is intuitive, it is emotional, but it's also cyclical. And the Fountain Tarot is just really quiet here. See the figure walking on towards the water. In the Wild Unknown, it's a little darker. So you see the cups are broken. And you know, this mountain here, it's dark. It looks like it might be a difficult, you know, road ahead, or, you know, a big obstacle to get through before you get to something better. Now in the Alchemical Tarot, he did it a little different, and he really kept with more of that, the idea of just that working hard that we saw in the Pentacles and just producing, being very productive. And he's got that here, this guy making vessels. Let me see what that symbol, it's kind of like, I guess like matter, you know, going into energy there. And with the Vision Quest, a little different. You know, the Vision Quest is similar with the Thoth, and we have stagnation. So that would be the stagnation if you didn't move on, right? And in the Thoth, he has indolence, which means laziness. So that is it, I guess, for the 8s, and I'll see you in September for the 9s. I can't believe how fast this year is going, so I will see you all soon. Have a good one. Bye.